All right, Pops, we are back.
Yeah, with the Jan Meister, Yanni Barron, Dr. Yanni Barron, service advocate extraordinaire.
Yeah, that was rough, but it worked.
Well,
it worked.
I'll take that. Yeah, service advocate extraordinaire. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah. I dig it. So here's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. You go on Groupon or you go on any of those coupon websites, you can find all sorts of different incredible promotions, like the best promotions you've ever found before in your life. These aren't things that are going to be offered necessarily by a dealership, but by private garages or different places, independent shops, right? Yanni, what's going on behind the scenes when you see one of those promotions and it kind of sounds too good to be true? Like, maybe you could kind of shed some light on that and which promotions you should actually take advantage of. I was thinking we should touch on that today. And before we dive directly into that,
yes,
Black Book trade-in values back at yourautoadvocate.com.
Yeah, coming next year?
Nah, by the time this video is out, they'll be out.
Oh my God.
You gotta think.
It's 2022 already, ladies and gentlemen.
Yourautoadvocate.com. Take a peek there. Black Book trade-in values. We're super proud of that. But Yanni, or Pops first if you want to tee it up even more.
No, how much can you tee it up, for God's sake?
Teach us.
I mean, she's got the driver out. Let's go.
So, Groupon and no bad things to say about Groupon itself. I mean, listen, they offer some amazing, promotions, cruises, hotel stays, restaurants, you name it. They've definitely cornered the coupon market per se. But when it comes to the automotive side of things, for your private sector, which is who primarily uses Groupon, you'll get a lot of, brake job promotions. Buy the brake pads, get a free set of rotors, or, oil change promotion, pay for the oil, not the filter. I mean, realistically, there's a hidden cost in there somewhere. Something has to be marked up. Nothing is free, period.
No, stop it. Nothing's free?
Right, except for your amazing advice. That's what's free. But besides that, the other half of the boat, there's a fee somewhere. So, there has to be a markup, you know what I mean? And maybe sometimes it's not directly to, one side of the job. An example, if you're buying a set of brake pads and they say that the rotors are free, or vice versa, in many situations, they will mark something else up. Or they'll buy the product at such a low cost that it offsets a minimal hit to the business. But that's not the only part to, of course, a Groupon or to a coupon of such. Mm-hmm. You also have the fact that they're drawing you in for upsells, for future business. Fine, they'll take the wheels off the car to do the brake job, but they'll charge you another $40 to rotate the tires around. Or they'll find a, cautionable issue that will be, of course, an upsell. Now, you'll find in a lot of situations that, a shop that's using these promotion type items will go ahead and find itself scheduling it or setting it up during a time of the year where they see that they've been slow to try and attract new business, to get new foot in the door, or to reach out to clients that they haven't seen in a long time. So that's the main idea behind the Groupon idea. But it hurts that garage. We did one a long time ago when I was in the private sector. We did an oil change promotion, and at that time, I wasn't the owner of the business, so I was just an employee, but we went ahead and did an oil change. It was like $29.95 for full synthetic motor oil.
Wow.
We were losing, roughly about $20 for each oil change that we were selling on Groupon, because Groupon naturally takes their fee, and then on top of that, Groupon only disperses to you the total number sold at 30-day intervals. So you really didn't collect from the business perspective on your monies until after the 90-day period, because it's an investment firm as well. We all know.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you a silly question if I can. And I think our community would find this interesting. And I'm going to set it up in a way that's going to seem a little odd at first. We're planning our trip back east, and I have to find hotels for us to stay at. And, everybody advertises their daily rate, plus the hidden resort fee. Okay, and the resort fee could be anywhere from $10 to $45 a day, and it gets you your complimentary bottle of water that obviously is $10 or $45, and it gets you local phone calls and use of the swimming pool. And one of the things that I've seen in our industry that I would equate to a resort fee is the dreaded shop supplies.
Dum 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 dum.
Could you explain what shop supplies are and how shops determine what percentage of each sale is going to be shop supplies?
Well, I don't know if I can answer the, how each shop figures out their own shop supply fee, because it's usually calculated on the volume of part sales or the total parts sales, not off of labor. So, you'll find it, being a percentage of the repair order, but naturally at a certain cap, it's capped off. I know some places charge, $30 for shop supplies if you are spending in excess of $800, some places more. But what they've figured out, and in some respects, shop supplies can be considered the golden broom. Mm-hmm. It's that, little bit extra that you get on the back end to offset some additional cost. Now, some additional cost to our shop supplies is bulk use items. Your cleaners, your shop towels, your rags, your, miscellaneous lubricants, your washer fluid. It has a cost to the business, it being the private sector or a dealership. Now, how much of shop supplies is actually being used on every ticket? Well, I mean, if you look at an example of, 4 tires being replaced, really the only shop supply that you're using is some lubricant on the tires to get them to slide onto the wheel easier, but it's still $45 on a $1,000 bill. But you have a situation when you're doing a, brake job and you're using more products. So therefore the shop supplies is still going to be $45, but you've used less product on the tire job and you've used more product on the brake job.
So if you're a shop and you use a Groupon to bring additional business in, would a lot of shops look to increase their shop supplies charge on those tickets?
Oh, for sure. I mean, listen, that's some of the ways that we are offsetting the hidden cost, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and discount a ticket throughout the year off of the cost of the shop supplies, and the consumer sees a $40 to $50 savings. But during that time of the year, you're not discounting that fee, and now you're offsetting a $30 oil change, not by $40 or $50, but by an additional $20. So where is really the savings in the long run when buying such a Groupon? But keep in mind is also that, the shop has shopped around to see if they're going to be doing, 100 oil changes in that month. What's the cheapest oil I can buy to offset those costs as well? So one of the important questions here is to ask before you buy the Groupon, if you have the time, is to call that shop and say, listen, what brand of motor oil are you using to do the oil change under the Groupon criteria? What name brand brakes are you using to do the Groupon brake job? Because again, you may think that you're getting this fantastic deal, but you're getting a low sub-quality product either put in the engine or bolted onto the car that may save you a few shekels now, but it's going to cost you more later.
It's the old, you can pay me now or you can pay me later?
I think it applies to that too, yeah.
Yes, okay. Very cool.
Damn, you guys killed that. That was awesome. So we definitely need to do a follow-up video on shop supplies because I've never heard of that. To me, it almost sounds like the dreaded dock fee on the sales side. It seems like everywhere within the dealership, there's these extra things.
Every business has come up with,
with the exception of
with the exception of us, has come up with a way to add extra money.
I take that back. I've come up with a way. I don't pay my dad. So that saves us.
But every business comes up with a way to increase revenue above and beyond their advertised prices. Hotels, it's resort fees. Shops, it's garages, it's shop supplies. Sales, it's dock fees. And these are just add-ons that are designed as purely profit centers for the hotel industry, for garages, for dealerships, sure. The sales side of things. It would almost be unfair if they actually just told you what the real price was and they didn't hit you with shop supplies, a resort fee, or a dock fee. It was just built into the business and it was built into the pricing. But everybody's hung up on, we've got to advertise cheap prices, so how do we make up for that?
And so in the context of this with the Groupon, totally makes sense. Appreciate you calling it out. The other thing that I'll bring up, the parts, thank you for bringing that up, Yanni. The diagnosis, getting someone in the door, it's the upsell, cross-sell like you were talking about, Yanni. To me, that's like, I could see myself, especially being naive in this space, falling prey to that pretty easily. Like, oh, I own a car, but I'm pretty cheap, so let me just go to the cheapest place. Got it done. Then I'm in there and it's like, well, hey, did you know that we saw this when we were in your brakes? And it's like, I don't know what that means, but how much is it going to cost? $250. Okay, all right, let me sign the piece of paper. So I see how you can lose $20 on every oil change, or on each brake job. But as a shop, you may end up making it back. And so for our audience, it's almost like when you go in the F&I office. You're allowed to say no to everything, and you can get a second opinion on it afterwards.
I agree 100%. I mean, listen, it's a situation where it's the law of average. If you've got 10 people coming in, half pay for it, half don't, you average it out, and you've actually equaled out to what you were looking to make. Yep. So,
Very cool. Very cool.
I think it's, I just think it's retail pricing, the way it's done to attract.
Yeah. No, trust me. I mean, everyone gets it. But the video, Pops, you crushed it on this video. I thought for a second that we were going way off the rails. Yeah. And then you brought it right back, and I can't.
I have a unique way of doing that.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
I was sweating for a second.
Yeah, I know you were.
What were you saying, Yanni?
He was in car sales for 40 years. I mean.
See you guys on the next one.
It's kind of like riding a bike. I haven't forgotten how to do it.
Yeah, you haven't lost it, right?
Thank you, Yanni.
See you guys.
All right, guys. All right, have a great one.